Bet365 is an A-rated book on SBR. Click on their logo to discover why.
Hello and welcome to World Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Natalie Rydstrom. Joining us now is Richard O'Hagan, sports writer and regular contributor to SBR Forum, to discuss the betting value in the individual World Cup teams. Richard, welcome to the show.
Hi Natalie, it's great to be here.
Now, host Brazil from Group A are the tournament favourites this year and have won 3 of their 5 world titles in Americas. Now, however, they lost to Netherlands in the quarter-finals in the last World Cup. So is it all down to being host? They're priced at 4.25 to win with BWin.
Well, Natalie, I think that one of the great things you can say about Brazil is that they are always going to be a contender in the World Cup. And it's very rarely that we find a situation where Brazil are not up there amongst the front runners. But you've got to remember, admittedly, it's going back to 1950. The last time Brazil hosted the World Cup was one of the 2 occasions they've been beaten in the final. So I think there's a problem there. There's a problem also, they've not had any real serious competitive football since 2011. And then in the Copa America, they managed to lose to Paraguay. So a little bit of a doubt over them on that point, but apart from that, I would say yes, they're a solid bet here.
Okay, who is their biggest threat?
The biggest threat coming up will actually be in the second round, because they're probably going to come up against either Spain or the Netherlands. After that, I don't see them having too much of a problem until they get through to the semi-finals, and then again, they're likely to come up against either Spain or the Netherlands, depending upon who wins Group B. So I think out of all that, you've got a safe bet for Brazil to go through to the semi-finals, but perhaps a little side bet on them going out in the second round as well.
Okay, interesting there. Now, another bet to make is for Brazil in the group stages. There's no value for them to qualify, priced at 1.050, or really to win Group A, that's priced at 1.25 with Bet365, unless you're going to bet big. But if you choose Brazil and say second favourite Cameroon to qualify, that's priced at 2.5, or combine that with third favourite Mexico, and that's priced at 2.75. The bet does get interesting. So if you were going to make that bet, which 2 teams would you choose to qualify?
Actually, it's a very interesting situation, because what you've got there are Brazil plus 3 teams who came through qualifying but actually sort of battled their way through, didn't look terribly impressive, and that's why that makes for an interesting combination. I think out of those, I would probably go for Mexico. I think that Mexico are a team that they never really disappoint you in the World Cup finals. They turn up and do exactly what you expect them to do, which is to be solid, occasionally a little bit exciting, and to put up a couple of good results. So I think Mexico probably a better bet than Cameroon, who do tend to be a little bit disappointing, never quite lived up to the great run they had in 1990.
Okay, so 2.75 there, not a bad bet. Now, another bet you can make is on the under-over group points. The under offers the lowest odds of 1.53, whilst the over 7.5 points is priced at 2.37. Personally, I see Brazil picking up quite a few points, especially as it's the early part of the competition. What do you think?
Natalie, I think that Brazil are going to walk away from this group with 9 points. 3 wins, no problem at all at this stage. It would take a particularly bad day at the office for them to get beaten by any of the other teams in this group. So, yeah, definitely go over 7.5 points.
All right. Well, Brazil do have the shooting power of Neymar here, who's priced at 1.75 to be Brazil's top goal scorer. Can he get the job done?
Absolutely. He is just a phenomenal player, and it doesn't seem to matter who defending teams put on him. He always seems to find a way to the goal. So I would say, yes, here you've got to look to him. Possibly also, though, have a look at someone like Fred, who's a bit of a veteran, bit of experience behind him, but he's the sort of guy that could come on and profit from other teams concentrating on other forwards. So that's a decent alternative, and he's round about 9s at the moment to be their top scorer.
Okay, well, with this in mind, the over 7.5 goals is quite attractive, priced at 2.1. For reference, the under 7.5 goals is priced at 1.67. I'm leaning towards the over. Where are you leaning on this one?
I'm with you there, Natalie. I think over 7 goals, over 7.5 goals is definitely a good bet for Brazil here. They will concede goals, but they will certainly score them.
Now, we brushed on it in the beginning of the preview at this early stage of the competition in terms of stage elimination bet. Can you see them going all the way, or will they bow out earlier? And if so, at what stage?
Well, Natalie, I think that Brazil are certainly capable of going all the way here. The one thing I would say they have against them is that for some reason in the World Cup, favourites only occasionally win. So the pre-tournament favourite is not usually a good position to be in. But at home, Brazil, always a difficult team to beat. So I would say, yes, you can back them quite comfortably to win this. If you think they're going to go out earlier, it's going to come either in the second round or the semi-final. And my inclination would be that it will be the second round if they slip up, because that's when they come up against their first real opposition, as I said, in the form of either Spain or the Netherlands. After that, I think they're romping their way to the final.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that about wraps things up for our World Cup team preview. Richard O'Hagan, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome, Natalie.